In feudal Japan, there lived a young samurai named Kenji who prided himself on his strategic thinking. Before every training session, he would analyze each movement in his mind. Before every sparring match, he would calculate dozens of possible attacks and counterattacks. His mind was always 3 steps ahead, planning, predicting, preparing. One afternoon, his master challenged him to a simple duel. Kenji's mind immediately began racing through possibilities. Should he strike high or low? Would his master feint left or attack right? What if he used the technique from last week? As these thoughts flooded his consciousness, his master moved. In one effortless motion, Kenji found himself disarmed, the wooden sword knocked from his hands before he even began his first move. Confused and frustrated, Kenji asked Sensei, "How did you move so fast?" "I was thinking through every possibility." His master smiled and replied, "That is precisely why you lost. You were thinking, I was simply doing. Your mind was so full of thoughts that there was no room left for action. You defeated yourself before I ever raised my sword." This story reveals one of the most counterintuitive truths about human performance. We live in a world that celebrates thinking, analysis, and careful deliberation. We are told to think before we act, to consider all possibilities, to weigh every option. Yet the ancient samurai discovered something remarkable. The more we think during action, the slower and clumsier we become. The path to excellence lies not in filling the mind with more thoughts, but in emptying it completely. The samurai had a term for this state. They called it Mushin, which translates literally as no mind. This is perhaps the most misunderstood concept in all of Japanese philosophy. When we hear empty mind or no mind, we imagine someone spacing out, daydreaming, or disconnected from reality. We think of a blank stare, of someone who has checked out mentally. Nothing could be further from the truth. Mushin is not the absence of awareness, it is the perfection of awareness. It is a mind so clear and present that it can respond to reality instantly, without the interference of thought. Think about the last time you were completely absorbed in an activity. Perhaps you were playing a musical instrument, and your fingers moved across the keys without conscious direction. Maybe you were in deep conversation, and words flowed naturally without you planning each sentence. Or perhaps you were playing a sport, and your body responded to the game faster than your conscious mind could process. In these moments, you touched Mushin. You experienced what happens when thinking stops interfering with doing. The legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi understood this principle deeply. In over 60 duels throughout his lifetime, he never lost a single fight. When students asked about his secret, he did not speak of superior technique or physical conditioning. He spoke about the mind. He taught that in combat there is no time for thought. The moment you begin thinking about what to do, you have already lost. Your opponent's sword will have moved while your mind was still deliberating. Musashi wrote in his Book of 5 Rings, "The mind must always be in the state of flowing. When it stops anywhere, that means the flow is interrupted, and it is this interruption that is injurious to the mind." In the case of the swordsman, it means death. Consider what happens in your brain when you overthink. Modern neuroscience has discovered something fascinating. When we engage in conscious, deliberate thought, we activate the prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain responsible for analysis, planning, and self-awareness. This is valuable for many tasks, but it comes with a cost. The prefrontal cortex is slow. It can only process a limited amount of information at once. It creates what scientists call cognitive load, using up mental energy that could be directed elsewhere. More importantly, when the prefrontal cortex is highly active, it actually suppresses other parts of the brain. The regions responsible for intuition, pattern recognition, and rapid response become less active. You literally cannot think and act at your fastest simultaneously. Your conscious mind is too slow for peak performance. This explains why we experience what researchers now call analysis paralysis. We face a decision and begin thinking through all the options. Should I choose this path or that one? What if this goes wrong? What if I miss a better opportunity? The more we think, the more options we see. The more options we see, the harder it becomes to choose. Eventually, we become frozen, unable to act at all. We have thought ourselves into a state of complete paralysis. Studies show that this overthinking reduces our working memory capacity, kills our creativity, increases our anxiety, and dramatically lowers our performance on mentally demanding tasks. The very thing we believe will improve our decisions, more thinking, actually makes our decisions worse. The samurai recognized this danger centuries before modern psychology proved it scientifically. They understood that the thinking mind is the enemy of the acting body. This is why their training focused not on thinking more clearly, but on thinking less completely. They practiced the same movements thousands of times until those movements became automatic, wired into their nervous system at a level below conscious thought. They trained until their bodies could respond perfectly without their minds getting involved. But here is where most people misunderstand Mushin. They assume it means turning off the brain, acting mindlessly, or operating on pure instinct without any awareness. This is completely backwards. Mushin is actually a state of heightened awareness, not reduced awareness. In Mushin, you are more present, more attentive, and more connected to reality than usual. The difference is that your awareness is direct and immediate, not filtered through the lens of thought. Think of it like this. Imagine you are looking at a beautiful sunset. When your mind is busy thinking, you are not really seeing the sunset. You are thinking about the sunset. You are comparing it to other sunsets you have seen. You are judging whether it is beautiful enough. You are wondering if you should take a photograph. You are planning what you will say about it later. Your thinking creates a barrier between you and the direct experience of the sunset. Now imagine looking at that same sunset in Mushin. Your thinking mind becomes quiet. You are simply seeing without commentary, without judgment, without the constant internal dialogue. This is not spacing out. This is waking up. You are more present with the sunset than you were when you were thinking about it. The same principle applies to action. When a master samurai faces an opponent, his awareness is total. He sees every movement, every shift in weight, every subtle change in his opponent's posture. But he is not thinking about what he sees. He is not analyzing or planning his response. He is simply responding, directly and immediately, the way your hand pulls back instantly when you touch something hot. There is no delay between perception and action because thought does not interrupt the flow. This is why the samurai trained so intensely with basic techniques. A beginner learns a sword strike and must think about each element. Where do my feet go? How do I hold the sword? What angle should the blade follow? This thinking is necessary at first, but if a warrior still needs to think about these things in combat, he will die. So the samurai repeated these basics 10,000 times, 100,000 times, until thinking was no longer required. The movements became as natural as breathing. This freed their conscious minds to remain empty, available, and present. Zen master Taekwondo Soho, who taught swordsmanship to many samurai, explained it this way. He said the mind should be like water. When water is still, it reflects everything perfectly. But when you throw a stone into still water, ripples spread across the surface and the reflection becomes distorted. Thoughts are like stones thrown into the water of your mind. Each thought creates ripples that distort your perception of reality. In Mushin, there are no stones, no thoughts, no ripples. The mind remains like perfectly still water, reflecting reality exactly as it is, allowing for perfect response. We see this same principle in every domain of high performance. Athletes call it being in the zone. Musicians speak of flow state. Programmers describe getting into deep work. Artists talk about losing themselves in their craft. All of these experiences share the same essential characteristic. The thinking mind becomes quiet, and action flows naturally from a deeper place. The practical implications of this are profound for modern life. We live in an age of constant information, endless options, and overwhelming complexity. We are told that success requires more thinking, more planning, more analysis. We fill our minds with strategies and frameworks and models and techniques. We believe that if we just think hard enough, we will find the perfect answer. But the samurai teach us something radically different. Beyond a certain point, more thinking does not improve performance, it destroys it. The key to mastery is not filling your mind with more, but learning when to empty it completely. This does not mean abandoning preparation or practice. The samurai prepared intensively. They studied strategy, trained techniques, and developed their skills through rigorous discipline. But this preparation happened before action. When the moment of action arrived, all that preparation had to be released. The mind had to become empty so the body could express what it had learned without interference. So how do we cultivate this state? The first step is recognizing when overthinking is harming rather than helping. Notice the times when you are caught in endless deliberation, when you keep circling the same thoughts without moving forward. This is a sign that more thinking will not help. Your mind needs to become empty so you can act. The practice of meditation, particularly Zen meditation or Zazen, trains exactly this capacity. You sit quietly and watch your thoughts arise without engaging with them. You practice letting thoughts pass through your mind like clouds passing through the sky, without grabbing onto them or pushing them away. This develops your ability to maintain awareness without getting caught in thinking. You can also practice Mushin through everyday activities. When you wash dishes, just wash dishes. Do not think about what you will do next or replay conversations from earlier in the day. Bring your full attention to the sensation of water, the movement of your hands, the feeling of the dishes becoming clean. When you walk, just walk. Feel each step, notice your breathing, observe your surroundings without naming or judging what you see. These simple practices train your ability to be present and aware without constant thinking. Most importantly, learn to trust the preparation you have done. If you have practiced something enough times, you do not need to think your way through it in the moment. Trust your training. Let your body do what it has learned to do. Step out of your own way. The samurai discovered that the thinking mind is useful for learning but terrible for performing. During performance, thinking only slows you down. Your body already knows what to do if you will just let it act. This is the empty mind paradox. By emptying your mind of thoughts, you become more capable, not less. By thinking less, you achieve more. The path to mastery is not filling your mind with endless information and strategies. It is learning to empty your mind completely in the moment of action, trusting the preparation you have done, and allowing your natural ability to express itself without interference. As Zen master Taekwan wrote, when the mind is left to itself, it functions freely, but attempt to control it and it becomes your master. The samurai understood something that modern culture often forgets. Your thinking mind is not your most powerful tool. It is actually quite limited and slow. Your deepest intelligence lies beneath thought, in the wisdom of your body and the clarity of direct awareness. Access this deeper intelligence not by thinking harder, but by learning to think less. Empty your mind and you will discover it is already full of everything you need. Thank you for watching.